at any point pick
No.
where they're gonna go.
But they do get to go on one of the sides of the rift. That is how it works. Let's jump into pick and ban here for our very first game on Summoner's Rift 5 versus 5 for 2024 here at LoL Park. Support versus jungle. And if you subscribe to Team BeryL, the understanding that he always wins until he doesn't, then this should be an easy one for support, but you never know what could happen. And oftentimes, I've heard in solo queue that games are decided based on the better jungler. And I think the team jungle has the better junglers.
Yes, they should. By all accounts, as we do see Graves Lee already taken away.
Just banning junglers. Whereas jungle's banning 80 carries. It all makes sense now. Maybe that's a nod to the tank Varus that you told me about earlier on today.
It might be. Obviously, we are on 14.1, so what is going to happen with itemization? What is going to happen in terms of champ priority? I'm not so sure. The tank, or the Gragas rather, is a specific ban towards Gideon.
Yes.
I was kind of waiting for the ban of Akali, because we know that that's the only champion that Lucid can play mid. And I'm banning it just yet.
He's been watching Showmaker play, so I imagine he's got a mean Katarina and Yasuo as well, you know? That's what I would assume. Ashe, of course, banned away. Does make a little bit of sense here, as there is the Lucian lock-in. For Pleata, of course, Pleata a pretty good Lucian player, so that does make some sense. See what it's going to be paired with. Of course, now, considering the fact that we are on 14.1, Lucian is one of those champions that does benefit from both Quick Blades and IE that you can now build together, which could, you know, make for some powerful stuff. We don't know a whole lot about how this new patch is going to roll, though, so I'm going to try and leave the analysis to you, Chronicler. You can take that one away. As Nautilus, there it is, a jungle something flex. Beautiful. That could be going all over the place.
Honestly, with you on that one, because the only real play we've seen on this patch has either been on, you know, PvE or on in-houses, very small skill stuff, no pro play to speak of as of yet. Also, no solo queue, and even though solo queue obviously doesn't always translate one-to-one, with what we see in pro play at the very least, creates so much more play and generates an incredible amount of data, which we can use. Not going to be the case here, as it looks like with the Gragas taken out, Gideon instead going to opt into the Cassante here. I also like that a lot of the 80 carries that were banned have at some point been played as support.
Yeah, they're all
and they're like, we're not risking it. We're not giving you the comfort.
They're like, Keria is the captain. Let's ban his champions that he played in support.
Yes.
Even though he's a mid laner. And if you ever peruse Keria's solo queue account, he basically just plays mid. Lots of LeBlanc, lots of Vex, things like this. Aatrox now going to be locked in, though, here for most likely Andil, who is jumping towards that top side of the map here for team support. And Lucid's Akali is up and available. I don't know why he wouldn't just lock that one away right now. He did say, I would like to play Akali, please. So he may as well pick it.
Please, it's the one champion I can play in this role.
There it is.
They're going to give it to him, and they can also use some bans to maybe take away some of the rougher matchups. We'll see if that is going to be enough. And you already mentioned Keria's LeBlanc, and
he has also played at support.
Sure he has. Vi being denied here, and it makes sense. I want to try and deny some junglers to Oner, who then will be able to set up very well with either mid lane, provide some CC for Akali to do some considerable damage, or play around that Nautilus. That is going to be piloted by Peanut.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah, that's what we're assuming. I mean, Nautilus can go in a plethora of locations.
Could go jungle?
Yep.
I guess.
80 carry Nautilus. Haven't seen it before, but I'd be interested to find out. Ziggs. Consideration here for the 80 carry position. Sylvie, see what he can do. Of course, we have a lot of Ziggs enthusiasts here at the LCK broadcast. If he was to lock it in, we'd be pretty happy about it. But there is Jhin to be locked in. I'm not enthusiastic about it, but it's just some of the things that have to happen. Pleata hovering some Rammus. And BeryL with a sly grin on his face. Are we getting BeryL?
But Rammus never dies. He actually, like...
Against his team, yeah.
Against his team. He never... There is no way.
Okay, that's an eco.
Yeah, that's an eco. Could go obviously in multiple roles here.
I mean, Keria has played that professionally before.
Yeah, we're gonna assume it's mid, right? That's a wombo combo.
Now we get to find out whether the new item, Never-Ending Despair, actually does lock your W into being on, if he does actually lock this in. Oh, he just did it. He just did it. Of course he did.
Okay.
Of course he did. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. BeryL. BeryL, everyone.
Because, yeah, I figured with what they have drafted thus far, they were going to look towards... that is really...
This is a very jungler mid laner type situation, or jungler anything type situation, but that is going to be Kindred.
So... the benefit of Kindred is that obviously you do have a better way of dealing with the Nico ultimate in a 5v5 scenario. I also think Oner wants to try and be really aggressive early game. In that regard, Kindred does have a lot of value.
Gives you tank shred as well, which you wouldn't have if you were playing Lethality Jhin.
Yeah, but...
which is, like, in theory, what we'd expect the build to be, right?
But that would be my assumption. We'll see what it is, right? With the new optimization. Maybe they'll go for something else. But I think the brand also provided you with a reliable way to actually kill Rammus. And I think that Kindred, no matter the build, still is never going to kill BeryL.
Yeah, I guess.
You have a little bit more, right?
So Brand would have been a pretty good choice.
It would have been a great jungler, yeah. I think Brand's in a good spot right now. His jungle clear is insanely strong. But it's going to be Kindred instead. Now, saying that the champion will never die in the hands of BeryL, that's a bold move.
I mean, it will die. It should theoretically take a really long time for Rammus to die, and with a lot of physical damage on the enemy team, that is how that one works. You've got a burst mage not necessarily known for being able to do a lot of DPS in the Akali. So, should be a great pick. But like you say, BeryL does tend to change up all of our expectations. This will be team support though. The melee Lucian, actually very powerful there towards the bottom side of the map, with two players playing their main role in theory, which could make things difficult on the bottom side for Sylvie and Peanut.
And on the other end, I think a lot of skill expression in both these two compositions. I'll wait to see what will happen.
Okay. I keep saying okay when Rammus is in the game, but it's time to jump onto the Rift here. Game number 1. I was expecting some fan chants, but didn't quite get them. But that's absolutely fine. Jungle going for a jungle invade.
Because they realize the importance of having control over the jungle.
Exactly.
Starting from minute 1.
This is their realm. And execute.
Maybe they never leave the jungle.
Whoa. They just quintuple jungle the whole game?
Think of the camps. Think of the clear speed.
Think of how bad BeryL's time is going to be, if that is indeed what happens. As Pleata, ooh, they do spot Peanut, who's standing outside of the brush. Suboptimal play at that point in time. And do spot Oner as well. So BeryL going to sweep things out. Everything is going to be all right. Keria pretending to be Pleata right now. And they don't catch the ward. BeryL going to get a bit of a leash here, and that means that Oner does have the opportunity to get over here. 5-point strike, not able to steal away the Raptor camp, and they have full information. BeryL doesn't have smite though, so that's going to make things tough. So Oner is going to be able to grab that one very comfortably. Nice little double tap on Sylvie as he's coming around. Oner hops over the wall though. The hook finds the middle. That's 6 points in my country, but it's not great here in this game. As BeryL's just going to get onto the camp. He's just not really interested. And now we have the laning phase. Pleata doing a lot of damage.
And that is the early aggression that we were expecting to come out of Oner very early on here. And immediately trying to turn this into a gank. Does have red buff available as well. No CC for Lucid, and Keria has full health, but even just a decent amount of damage can be quite big here. Does show himself on the map though. My expectation is that he would, immediately continue his invade. And BeryL, he's rolling!
Oh, he's coming for the gank. He's going to find some minions, but he skirts out of the way, and then he's back up the river one more time.
Out.
There we go. Bought some space for his bottom lane.
I like that BeryL's play conceptually is very similar to his support play.
I mean, he's just BeryL. His play isn't based on a role. It's based on BeryL.
Things are.
Oh, nice hook there from Peanut. Everything else was just to bait them into that moment. As you can see, Pleata taking a lot of damage. The Ignite finally wears off. Dashes through, though. Gets a bit of double tap with the Light Slinger on to Sylvie. And Oner continues his invade ever more. Even on camps though at the moment. 3 being picked up by both junglers. As let's check in on the top lane. Andil going to be landing some abilities, but Oner's going to turn up. Andil trying to get out of there, but this might be the end of the Aatrox. It might be first blood, and there it is, and it goes to Oner.
And Oner running a jungle here early on. And as you point out, right now, camps relatively even. But if we look at the respawn timers, Oner has a full jungle that he gets to clear through, and the rest of Team Jungle should just play safe, not take any big risks, and then BeryL can take a crab. And that'll be about it. The one small win here for Team Support is that Oner, you know, he won't be able to pick up his mark right now.
True.
Which is something, but I also don't know if BeryL can get anything going really. Is Peanut already roaming?
Yeah, BeryL wanting to pick up this Raptor camp.
Just
should be able to do so. Does get the smite. Rolling on out of there. 5-point strike connects, but it's not going to stop him. Hook going to land here as well, but Keria does manage to block that one. Bit sneaky, as he does manage to lock down Peanut for a little while. Get some decent damage there as well. Peanut's going to make his way home. So Oner coming down, grabbing himself a crab. That's going to be a mark as well. And BeryL just desperately trying to find some camps to kill on this map.
Yeah, and that's Mark here for the Kindred. Let's take another look at the play here in top. Just a really good setup, right? As mentioned.
And a lot of enthusiasm. That's the main thing.
쉽잖아. 아이 서포터가 갱을 어떻게 피해?
Team Support is, or Team Jungle rather, their vibes are good.
The vibes are very good. And of course, that is Peanut in a nutshell, so it does make some sense there as Pleata is chasing after Sylvie. Peanut, speaking of which, is going to turn up here. Pleata's going to have to hop into the alcove for a moment. You can see him playing very aggressively here towards this bottom side as Andil hunting for another Q does not get it. Teleport back from Keria. And we do have the Void Grubs. They have spawned. It is, of course, a spawn at 5 minutes. They've been up for 13 seconds. Hook going to miss. Does get the Relentless Pursuit out of Pleata there. He's running a little bit low on mana, I guess. About a wave down as BeryL getting into position to back.
I don't think they are aware of the ward that is currently there. Also, is important to note that even though Pleata, as mentioned, has played support more recently, has been an AD carry before that for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So him and Execute are kind of expected to do a good job as Peanut finds the hook.
Yeah, Execute taking so much damage. Does have to flash to get himself out of the way. Shields himself up though. Should be all right from the Ignite here. As Cozy Campfire for Pleata. The Relentless Pursuit's okay, but Oner turns up in the nick of time. They make it under the turret though, and they should be all right. At least for the moment. Sylvie is very low, but Pleata's lower. Not going to get any counter kills, but no one goes down just yet. GIDEON behind the turret on this Cassante, having just the greatest of times. Protecting a mark there as well if Oner was to make his way towards the top side of the map. And BeryL.
We are going to see the early Drake being taken here. Even though Pleata and Execute are able to offset the play, nicely done there in the end as well. Pleata trying to look for the all-in, but Oner shows up just at that given time.
Oh, there's the backflip. Does come through. Pop Blossom comes down. The taunt should be there from BeryL, but it is not. And Lucid just dashes his way out with the perfect execution as the second charge as well, but Keria is not going to die. From that one, Oner turns up to protect his mid laner, and BeryL just back to getting that farm on.
He will get a camp. It's something. Yeah, BeryL really having a tough time to try and match, and because of how bot lane has been impacted early on as well, they're now going to be able to continue this invade. And with the pressure point of this Lucian and Nilio lane also being, in terms of farm, they're doing an okay job, but they haven't really been able to find, I think, the early game impact that generally you're going to be looking for. And they can just permanently invade because of the bot lane prio. And BeryL just left to waddle.
He's waddling very well, though, as Peanut. He's going to head splash over the wall. Execute does find out the position of at least Oner right now. And Peanut is looking for the back. Execute is not even going to wander into the brush, and Peanut just makes his way out. Oner is going to execute himself. That is not proper noun execute. It's the verb execute.
Heist successful?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, one got out, the other got executed, so...
And they took a red buff.
You'll take it. Good enough.
I think that killed the red buff, though.
Yeah. But you get the gold, and you deny the experience to BeryL.
Yep. BeryL is going to struggle to get that giant bouncing bowling ball ability. He's one level away, though. He should be able to get there.
He's been soaking a lot of lane experience.
He has been doing a little bit of that. And look, he is a support player. Soaking lane experience is kind of his bag. Oner, though, making his way up. As you can see, all the changes to the Rift, man. It is really good that we have this tournament to kind of get a little bit of an idea as to how this one's going to go. Oner is just going to dance some arrows over that wall. Vision going down, and he'll spots everything out. Looks like BeryL should be able to get at least this Grump if it doesn't continue resetting.
Okay.
Yeah, nice little defense here from Team Support. Putting their backs into it. We have a look. No one really has a big advantage as Pleata goes aggressive. Culling not going to connect there onto Sylvie towards the end. We've got some Void Grubs going down. Only getting some work done. And as you can see, if you're missing some information on these Void Grubs, there it is for you. But we have a bit more action. The taunt comes in. Andil going to try and close the gap. There's the flash forward for Q2. GIDEON in a little bit of trouble. The Void Grubs continuing to go down, though. And GIDEON will survive. Everything's coming up Team Jungle. And look at that. All those Void Grubs going into Oner's hands. Sylvie having to get out of there. Does have to use the flash. Will be able to survive. Just has to give away a plate.
And that is the price they have to pay for Peanut continuously roaming, being really proactive on this Nautilus, but being a jungler, not necessarily as cognizant of when to roam, just roams a lot, so his Keria has to pay for it.
He's spent a long time on a team with Lehens, right? Like,
True.
And the school of Lehens, as far as support is concerned, is don't be in lane. That is a good support.
He is doing that a lot.
He's doing that. And I think that Lehens also did it at not roam timings. He did it at Lehens timings. And so maybe that's what Peanut is utilizing here.
I like the deep lore.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the theory that I've got going on. Of course, it was a couple of years ago.
I think it's a good theory. And we'll see. As pointed out, right now, neither team really getting a substantial lead here. We do see, obviously, Team Jungle is somewhat ahead, and I think they're looking good. We're able to pick up the Void Grubs with the buff as well. Also, already got themselves to the first individual Drake, but I think Team Support has plenty of power to come mid-game. We saw some of that more lethal explosiveness when Pleata tried to go for the kill on Sylvie, even though they didn't get him. Still got a cooldown, got the flash out of it and bullied him off the wave, leading to a small lead for the bot lane there.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to see a contest around this dragon as Peanut, again, up to no good.
Yeah, Peanut, something roaming. That is basically the aim of the game for him on Team Jungle today. Do we feel like Team Jungle does want to get early advantages and try to up the tempo this game, given their team composition? Or do you think late game is something that they can still probably handle? Because I do feel like Team Support has a very well-rounded composition, whereas Team Jungle look to be potentially lacking range or DPS later, although I guess that's a Kindred and a Jhin. That's a lot of range. But the team fight is what I'm a little bit worried about. We might have one of those right here, and Execute is in so much trouble. He's going to go down. That is a second kill here for Team Jungle. In the meantime, Keria has found Lucid, gets the flash. Perfect execution doesn't land. It's a lot of damage. As that was actually Keria transforming into an almost dead Lucian at the time, which looked like it did damage, but it did not. It did mean that Pleata died, though, and now Sylvie, he's grabbing some plates, and he's closing that gap. This is a great time for Team Jungle, and they are just owning the Rift right now.
And it looks like Solo Q was right all along as GIDEON, looking for the all-in.
Yeah, the World Ender comes down, but the all-out seems to be working a little bit better. Andil is just spinning around, trying to hit some Qs. He might need to get out of here. It's doing some decent damage. Q's landing. Oh, that one's not going to connect, though, as GIDEON. Can he find the solo kill? There it is! Andil goes down, and the Cassante... Oh, it's a thing of nightmares. This might have been why Showmaker didn't want to turn up today. Just volunteered to not be on Team Mid. He wanted that extra week and a half of no Cassante to watch.
And Team Jungle now seriously pulling ahead. As we take a look at the play here, they don't know about BeryL, but it doesn't matter. As Execute goes down and look at that! BeryL just shows up and immediately is forced to run away, and this is where we do see the value of the Jhin. A lot of additional damage being set up there.
Too easy is what they all said over and over again, by the way.
Yeah, to add insult to injury, Meanwhile, in the top lane, GIDEON goes for the 1v1 against Andil. And with the early lead already going over to the Cassante, this is something that obviously you can suffer against as Aatrox. Once you start falling behind, these type of all-ins are going to go your way.
Yeah, and you can see Team Jungle all supporting one another. Jungle is uniting here as they scream ahead. 4-0 is the kill score. We've got Hextech Rift as well. And of course, the dragons have all been taken by the junglers. They are pretty good at being the ones to take these neutral objectives. As BeryL, the very sad turtle, making his way around the rift, trying to find something. Some Void Grubs up here for the taking, and you can see that support really does want to get there, but they are not going to work out. We will probably change this in-game announcement here, as it is relatively early days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, neither do I.
That looks perfectly fine. Now, for Team Support, it becomes about what can they do to recuperate. Because one thing that I am a little bit worried about, as much as I love Rammus and his little spinny ways, when you start falling behind, the champion can feel really tough to have a real impact on, because his team fighting can be pretty subpar. Obviously, don't think that he's necessarily going to be a target that's easy to kill. As GIDEON is kind of finding two people at the same time. BeryL really wants Shelly.
Yeah, and there's sort of like no one else here to help GIDEON out, so he's not really going to be able to stop this. He's just trying to annoy BeryL as much as possible. Shelly going to have a bit of a poke in the eye to deal with. Now, Hitchhiker's Guide to Rift Herald has now come on through. We'll see how BeryL is going to utilize it. Of course, hop on board while you're trying to take down these structures. Knock up enemy teammates, things like this. It's going to be a little bit of fun to see what he's going to get done here. Bounties are active. That shows just how powerful this early game has been for the junglers.
And for Team Support, I'm kind of wondering, as Andil does just to try and get through this wave, forced to use his ultimate. If they can find a way back, it'll be kind of tough here to fight your way back when you're not used to playing together from a deficit like this, as burdens are opened.
Yeah,
and immediately closed.
Yeah, so just one bullet there with the curtain call. Sometimes that's all you need. Try and create some space here as Peanut has got over the wall. BeryL down to 50% as Oner is looking to dance away. Peanut's going to have to escape. That was almost first kill for the supports. And now we've got the ultimate come through. Lucid is looking for BeryL. Perfect execution as he wipes out Pleata, and he does not stop there. Double kill for the Akali, and Jungle just looks unstoppable today.
And outside of that one Rift Herald, Team Jungle are on track for a perfect game.
It's everything as Andil just going to dash over the wall, but that may not be enough to stop the wrath of GIDEON, who's finding Q after Q. The flash not really doing a whole lot there. GIDEON is just going to smash the Aatrox down one more time. This is just turning into a shellacking, Chronicler.
Team Support, what could have been doesn't look like today we're gonna see any of it.
No.
As we take another look here, BeryL, he just wants to do something, but he can't quite get it done. So much of the initial burst is set up on top of Peanut. And then Lucid, just from watching some Showmaker VODs, gets into the enemy backline. That perfect execution, beautifully done. Let's again, this is the guy's first day in Low Park.
Yeah.
That's big.
And remember, he's not only watched Showmaker, he's also watched Poolbear.
Very true.
Who is also probably currently flanking on Akali as we speak.
You might not see him, but you know he's there.
Oh, he is there. And he's currently in the form of Lucid, who is looking like a mid laner right now. 2-0-0 on the Akali. He does have a CS advantage as well. And now BeryL, he's going for a ride. Okay, GIDEON's gonna get knocked up. Sylvie gonna get knocked up, and he gets the charge. There's a fair bit of value there as he dives forward. It could be kill number one, and there it is. We've got the third Drake being taken here by Jungle, but it's kill number one for Support. They're on the board.
Big win for Team Support. They are awkwardly stuck
Yes.
BeryL rolling out.
BeryL's decided to take one for the team, or has he? This could be the start of something, but Lucid gets into the backline. BeryL is going to go down. Has he done enough to try and help out his team? The answer looks like a no, as Lucid gets rid of the Lucian. GIDEON just trying to keep the rest of the team out of there, as Andil is trying to tank up as much as he can. Does get a decent amount of health back as Oner does take down Execute. And it's looking like Team Jungle are just a little bit too strong. They do manage to take down Peanut, but Keria will fall immediately afterwards, and Andil will be taken down. There is the ace for about a split second, as BeryL has just respawned, and Jungle continue their dominance.
And immediately GIDEON trying to get the most out of this play. Teleports towards the bottom half of the map. Will he care about BeryL? He's very little health. He does actually have to respect, but also can kind of just ignore BeryL.
Yeah, and especially with Oner turning up as well, so BeryL might be out of the death chamber, into the death chamber, and there we go. They take down the turret as well. The onslaught of the jungle continues. And support, I mean, they're trying to get a couple of members down here. Exactly. Sneeko making his way in. As GIDEON very low. Good ward comes out there as Pleata's trying to get the damage down. Peanut has found Keria as he makes his way in, and now Lucid's turned up. He's so dangerous. Lands the backflip. Pop Blossom under 3 though. It doesn't matter because it's just not enough damage. They're so incredibly strong, and Lucid is just destroying them. 5-point strike to the back of the head, and just the shuriken from the shuriken backflip is enough to deal with the Melio. And Andil is finding himself 1v4. BeryL's trying to turn up. I just don't think, oh, he's trying to, and then he decides to turn around because he knows that Andil is dead. And BeryL's just out of here. Oner's towards that top side as well, looking to grab himself a mark, and he might be able to take it, even though BeryL's heading up there. And we're going to get a replay of Shelly getting a couple of knockups and a headbutt into a turret.
And you know what? This got them a kill. I'm
Absolutely.
calling for a lot of plans here for Team Support. This was the only one that actually ended up working out. And then this initially looked like BeryL's revenge. Yes, they killed him, but at what cost? But then, unfortunately, Teleport not quite well-timed with the rest of the team. If they have Andil there when that ultimate hits, maybe they can do something, but instead, Lucid just is evaporating them.
Yeah,
this is rough.
He is very, very strong. He might want to consider maybe a role swap. We know the Lucid's mechanics are just absurd, and he's demonstrating that. And although just trying his best to clear out some of this vision, as we have Baron on the Rift, the new and improved Baron. Very regular Baron pit there as well, as we can see, as Keria is going to blow the Bard Horn and hop up into the sky a little bit, putting his R button on cooldown, but I think he looked cool enough for that to be considered worth it. And Jungle going to take that as their opportunity, head over towards this purple worm, and why not? They are so extraordinarily far ahead. It is a 12,000 gold lead. It's just not looking good here for support at this point in time. But Andil is in position. Let's see what they can actually get done here. Keria looking for some snares. Oh, BeryL changing positions, getting on top of Sylvie, but he just falls down. Execute may just be his namesake right now, as the last of Ignite is going to land it. Peanut collects that kill. He is down relatively low, but the dash cannon not going to be enough to save Keria, as it's going to be a shuriken backflip from Lucid that gets that one done. Pleata trying to escape, and he will do that, but he's the last man standing on his team. And Jungle just going to get back towards that Baron and look to put a dent into this game. And by a dent, I mean finish the game.
Yeah, you gotta imagine if you didn't get that's gotta be it. As BeryL rolls in heroically. If they had an ultimate, you know, from Keria, could have maybe been something. Goes over the wall, still dies to Jhin, because with the lead that Team Jungle has, all that Team Support can do is just desperately try, and that they did. But there are even for you know, experienced teams playing together, coming back from a deficit like this can be very tough. And the game, some might say, was over a good 8 minutes ago. But what I like is, look at this ingenuity. This is why you need a support player in your team.
What's that?
For traps like this. Lucid doesn't know.
Is he
gonna die? Probably not.
Is 4 people enough to kill Lucid? That's my question. He does hop into his shroud. Looks to try and escape, doesn't land the backflip, so can't re-engage, which I imagine that's what he wanted to do. Keria does find him with the pop blossom. It was almost a great escape. He tries to dash over. He's very strong right now. The culling can't turn, so that ain't gonna work out. He's still alive for the moment. He's still gonna die, but that was a cute little effort. It is gonna be in trade for the majority of the base here on team support. So still hats off to Lucid there. 9-1-1.
That's a win for team support, man. You were not getting anything on the rest of the map.
Got
you
the
can't
shutdown.
fight these players.
We need to check all chat for the worths, see whether that actually popped up. That would confirm it 100%. Inhibitor number 1 to go down though, as Jungle look to continue the pressure with their Baron buff activated. Okay, there's the ult out from Execute, trying to keep his teammates alive as the curtains are being called. Sylvie looks for a few bullets, but does end up deciding that he doesn't really think it's worth it for now. Mid lane inhibitor turret is definitely going to go down. The inhibitor to follow as well. And Sylvie's still at full health. Peanut's at full health. They can go for some sort of re-engage if they would like. Now the regroup to come in. BeryL just not as tanky as he wants to be for now. And Andil not quite with his team at that particular moment. Now looking for Lucid if he can find him, but doesn't get him with too much. Infernal Chains will go off, but now the Nexus turrets are under fire. And Team Jungle, it just feels like an absolute wash here. They were dominant from start to finish. Second Nexus turret comes down. There's the pop blossom, but is it going to matter? I think the answer is no. Is Lucid, are you going back to that one? Yes, he is. He dives onto the fountain, and Team Jungle will take down Team Support here. Now, first game of the day.